Two channel favorites are facing off against each other in today's best of 3 series. It's time for a Terran versus Protoss. We're in game number 1 in the top left-hand corner of the map. We're looking inside of the main base of GuMiho. And his opponent in the opposite corner with the red Protoss pieces. He goes by the name of herO. This particular series was played a couple of hours ago as of me casting it as part of the Korean StarCraft League. Now, I guess by the time you're watching this video, I think I'm going to be uploading it tomorrow, which is actually my birthday. I'm not going to be making a video on my birthday, but yeah, I'm going to be uploading this tomorrow, so it was played yesterday. It should give us a good overview of where TVP is currently at. Both of these players are at the absolute top of their game right now, and obviously both of them are no stranger to playing very spicy games. And from what I understand in this particular series, it's not so much GuMiho who plays the spicy games, but supposedly it's herO. So we'll find out together exactly what ended up going down, because apparently herO is really feeling it today. Anyhow, generally speaking, whenever anybody recommends a GuMiho series, he's the one I'm, well, putting most of my attention on, because GuMiho is one of those players who's not afraid to mix in battle cruisers and proxy literally everything on the other side of the map. Although it seems to me that over the last half year or so, he has mellowed out a little bit. Now that is a very quick proxy pylon right here from herO. Yeah, building it at only 20 supply before the cybernetics core. Okay. We'll have to see exactly what the man decides to do, because he could just go for a second gateway, I suppose, but this is a very, very quick proxy for sure. That probe, by the way, still going to town, just dancing back and forth. Alright. Let's see. So, Zealot is coming up. No proxy gateway here on the other side of the map. Instead, we're gonna, I think, wait until this cyber core is done. This pretty much always is gonna have to be, I would say, a Stargate cheese, mostly because of the fact that this proxy here is positioned in such a way that, yeah, the air-to-air distance would be very, very short. I mean, you could still go for, I guess, like a proxy robo. Nah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's gotta be a Stargate here indeed for Mr. herO. I kind of assumed, though, when we first saw the announcement of the new multiplayer balance patch, that GuMiho would be the one in charge of all of the Cyclone games, and he has messed around with that a little bit, but not quite as much as I personally expected him to. So, GuMiho has decided to go for a Marine into a Reaper. Not quite the norm. Oh my... Oh, that is unlucky. He is scouting here for cheeses. That's really the only reason why you would go for a Reaper like such. I mean, obviously you can still check out what's going on the other side of the map, and you will see that, well, there's no Nexus build just yet, which may give him all the information he really needs, but that is unfortunate. Look at the minimap as well. He just barely missed that. Turns out Reapers, man. Oh, we have a proxy pylon in the natural as well, together with a shield battery. I was gonna say that the Reaper helmet may very well block some of their vision, but somehow they can see behind themselves, which is interesting. We've got a Void Ray coming up, together with a shield battery. This is one of those builds that we used to see a lot back in the day, and I've been wondering about this particular strategy, because the counter that Terran players used to use against this particular style is go for Cyclones. They would go for Cyclones, they would get the lock-on improvement, the red LEDs would switch on in front of the unit, but obviously these days that upgrade is nowhere to be seen anymore, and the unit in general does not have the same lock-on range. Okay, so that Stalker is going to be able to sneak away from now, or for now, rather. I've been wondering about this build. We haven't really seen it all too much, but herO executing it against GuMiho, is an interesting situation for sure. Yeah, there's a siege tank coming up. What we really need, though, is just a lot of stuff. So in the past, you would rush out those Cyclone upgrades and mix in a bunch of Vikings, maybe. This is GuMiho, by the way, who has gone for a high ground orbital command as well. So this is not him going for like a quick expo on the low ground or anything like that. This is considered a very safe approach right here from Terran, but he doesn't really have enough units. So the idea, I guess, is... So in the past, what you would do is you would go for a bunch of Void Rays and then transition towards Tempest as well. And it turns out when you have enough Tempest, you can just one-shot whatever the Terran player has. So you want to kill a siege tank, you get enough siege, or you get enough Tempest, you just one-shot the siege tank and that's it. The range of those, yep, there it is. Oh, it's right over here in the natural of the Terran, naturally, of course. The fleet beacon is coming up. I think we are gonna be going into Tempest here on the back end of, yeah, so GuMiho, he sees it right now. He's like, wait, didn't I scout that location with my Reaper? I must have barely missed it earlier. Anyways, we're gonna go for a Phoenix right here as well, just to lift up the siege tank, or maybe catch the Cyclone off guard, something like that. But this is hero putting all of his eggs in one basket, and yeah, that's never going to happen. And there's no way that I was gonna say, that Stimpak upgrade is going to finish up. So what do you do as Terran with the new patch against this build? I honestly don't know. There's gotta be a lot of Terrans that are playing against this right now on the ladder, though. For those of you... Oh, he's even taking the third base here. Look at this. hero is building his most important tech structures in the natural of the Terran, while at the same time now mining, I guess, is the goal. I mean, it doesn't even have to be... It doesn't even have to be for mining. You could just simply use that Nexus to allow for battery overcharge. Which is even dirtier. I wonder if he even needed the Tempest here, man. I think if he would have just kept producing Void Rays, he probably would just win. Now, obviously, this was a double barrack start right here for GuMiho. So the starport is pretty late. Maybe the ultimate counter in 2023 would be to go for some Vikings, right? That might not be a bad choice, but anyway, siege tanks here going to town against whatever they can. At this point, GuMiho will see the Tempests that are, well, on the horizon as well. And now he will start taking the first ball of energy here to the face. Yeah, so there's really no Terran unit here that is available that is going to reach that Tempest. Assuming everything gets microed well, the Tempest is just going to be able to clear out everything just by itself, technically speaking, you know? Obviously, at some point, there will be enough units, but without Stimpak, without a lot of Vikings, how in the world are you going to catch up? So, we can start mining here, and that is what we're going to do, but one option here for this Nexus is to just use the battery overcharge. You need to be in range of... It's a bit weird to call this a proxy Nexus, I suppose, but you need to be within range, and so far he certainly is. You can just bring back those Void Rays every time they're bruised, and up to this point, I mean, we did see a couple of the Protoss units going down, a few of those structures falling too, but I really like what hero has done. He's already given up on proxying over here, and he's moved it over towards this third base location instead. This is not really a spot that the siege tanks can, well, harass from, for example, right over there. Okay, so we're even going to be going for the Tempest upgrade as well. That allows them to deal double damage against structures. Wouldn't mind coming up? Okay. Don't think that's really going to do much. It's not really going to do much other than, I guess, zone out some of these units. Yeah, it's going to be difficult to really achieve much. So I believe it's 5 Tempest to one-shot basically everything. So this is not the cleanest micro right here from hero, to be honest. But once we go up to 5 Tempest, we can start one-shotting the Vikings. We can start one-shotting the siege tanks. I may have that number off, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I mean, you do want to target fire, though. Yeah. I think it's 5 Tempest right here to kill one of those things. And, well, maybe it's only 3 for the new Cyclone, actually, for those Tempests to just shut it down. So in a very strange way, hero doesn't even need to be this aggressive. One problem that we will see here very soon for GuMiho is that he simply will not have the minerals available anymore. So since he does have 2 orbital commands and he is dropping mules 2 at a time, this base is gonna run out in like 2 minutes. Oh no, what is GuMiho saying? Oh, can somebody translate that? He decides to tap out. Let me know down below in the comment section. There's gotta be somebody out there who can read Korean. Anyhow, game number 1, it goes in favor in a very cheesy way of the Protoss. Game number 2, we find ourselves on the map Alcyone. A much more conventional build here, this time around, at the very least from our Protoss player, as he has decided to go for an expansion at home, and he only just now sent a probe out onto the map. There's a Cybercore now finishing up. What exactly are we gonna do? Well, for now it's gonna be an Adept here, Chrono boosted out of the gateway. Where are we gonna be spending our gas? It could certainly just be a Stargate. I think that's what it will be. Can we build it? There we go. 150 gas. Makes a lot of sense. We do have that cheeky little probe in the top left-hand corner right now. Okay, now I think it's just gonna go back in for a scout here now. I'm seeing that the Reaper has indeed gone all the way across. Alright. This time around, GuMiho is brave enough to go for the command center here on the low ground. One of those decisions that can sometimes be a little bit annoying, but most often it will work out just fine. It's 2 Reapers right now on the back of this as well, actually, for Gumi. So not quite mixing in the additional Hellion production just yet. This is one of those scenarios where Yeah, the Reapers are nice against the very first Adepts, for example, but the Adepts are still powerful. They're still going to be able to kill the Reapers relatively easily, and by the time that, like, well, in this particular case, it's going to be a Phoenix first, but say there's an Oracle in your main base, you really do have to be reliant on Marines, and sometimes you might be regretting that you did not make those Marines rather than the Reapers. Anyways, Widow Mines are still going to be pretty good. We can obviously burrow that one somewhere over here in the mineral line and protect, at least for the time being. Alright, so, Adepts are already waiting. Obviously, what he really wants to do with those Reapers is not really fight those Adepts, but he wants to go straight into the main base. That is... Hello? What's going on here? What just... Hold up, I have to... I'm... Hold up right now. He just... I just went back like half a minute in the game. He just pulled loads of workers from the natural and just parked them right over there on the gas geyser. So I think the plan right here from the Terran is to march in with those Hellions inside of the natural expansion of Protoss. So he just selects the probes. Then he sends them all over here. I think this is one of those 300 IQ moves right here from hero, where he's trying to save probes against Hellions and Reapers, so this way he only has to protect his main base, but ultimately he shoots himself in the foot. Because that is... Yeah, now we're going to be sending them down to the low ground again. That is certainly not optimal for quite a while. Yeah, now the Reapers come into the main base. For quite a while there, those workers were not really mining very efficiently, and... Hero. Hero, what's going on right now, buddy? Oh, no. We're not mining with the probes over here. We still end up losing 5 of them inside of the natural, and eventually, yeah, the probes in the main base go back to mining, but this is already a fantastic start right here for Gumi, even though he really hasn't done that much. Like, this is a very normal start, all things considered. I mean, maybe the extra Reapers is not something we see every single time, but this is nothing all too crazy. It's not even so much the 6 probes that have gone down, it's just that the economical advantage right now, because of all those workers not mining, has been heavily in favor of the Terran. Alright, Widow Mine drop coming in. We still have the Reapers here trying to get some work done. Especially with a Phoenix opener, you're really trying to not take any damage of any sort. That's ultimately what you're looking for with these sort of starts, right? Because, I mean, medevacs should be pushed back relatively easily. The margin for error is extremely thin. So you're basically on a razor's edge the entire time. Hero right now not in the correct position here to deal with this medevac drop. Medevac drop right now is gonna go into the main base. Widow Mine, hello, 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 Hero! Hero! What? Can somebody wake up Hero? What just happened? That is 23 probes going down. I think we could have lost 4. Maybe 5. But 23? And like all that lost mining? Okay. Maybe Hero was talking to somebody. Maybe Hero's mouse stopped working. Maybe his mouse ran out of battery. Maybe he had internet lag spikes. I mean, that is a long series of events that went horribly wrong right there for the Protoss player. Like, that previous game already reminded me a little bit of a Diamond League strategy. This kind of reminds me of Diamond League as well. Sorry for any of the Diamond League viewers, but I have reviewed a lot of Diamond League games over the years, and this is the type of stuff that happens not at the highest level of play, but all the time below it. Okay, well, we're gonna continue the harassment a little bit more. GuMiho just rubbing salt in the wound, forcing the recall here too. Yeah, no, you can fly away, but that's not really going to happen, although we do have Cloak. Yep. GuMiho. Yeah, good luck with this one, Hero. So, Stimpack and +1, it's coming up. We'll probably have the combat shields not too far behind, and... Well, actually, we are going just for a whole lot of reactors. I think that GuMiho wants to end this game soon. Oh, like a house of cards, man. Yeah. When it rains, it pours. That is the story of this particular game. It is practically impossible right now for Hero to come back, unless GuMiho, for some reason, butchers his attack here even worse than his opponent. Honestly, you have to try. He would have to, like, lose... Like, he can literally lose all of this and still be okay. Maybe not quite, but he's at 49 workers. He's going for a third command center. He's adding on 4 additional barracks too. I think this is the type of game where, yeah, GuMiho is not planning on going for a 4th command center, because frankly, he does not need it. The only real problem, okay, is that the combat shields was a little late. I started that sentence and he didn't start it up yet, but now he has gotten that one too. What is hero going to do? Well, he hasn't really added on any probes in a long time. He's gonna go for a shield battery to protect his very valuable investment, apparently. I'm not exactly sure what he's even protecting with this shield battery. Kinda seems like a waste. May as well just transfer those probes to the low ground. Like, that's just wasted money here. He's gonna try and go for one final all-in. Now, I believe this is not possible. That's what I believe, okay? In case you're wondering why I suddenly... Nah, there's no way. This is way too much Terran. I mean, he's making the best of this scenario, don't get me wrong, but, like, this Terran army does not mess around. Those Immortals are nice and all, but there's nothing to do with the Marines. I feel like this early game from GuMiho is exactly what Terrans wake up with in the middle of the night, and they just have a smile on their face. That was the Terran dream. Seriously though, that early game could not have gone worse right there from hero. That was really rough. Okay, well, our final game for today, we find ourselves on Hackett, and let's see what ends up going down here. I would not be surprised at all if GuMiho just does the exact same thing again, because that was clearly something that was not clicking right there in hero's head. Okay. So for now, everything's normal. Double gas in the main base right here of the Terran, who has been, yeah, not scouting all too much in this particular series. I guess he just scouts with the Reapers and the extra Reapers on the back of it. Curious to see if he's gonna go triple Reaper once again. That's a very GuMiho-esque move. It's such a hero thing as well, though. Like, if you compare... Okay, I don't want to be mean or anything, but if you compare, like, hero to max specs, in my mind, max specs is like 10 times as stable when it comes to his average game. However, as far as like peak performance goes, it seems that hero is a little bit better, right? So like, I would say that like somebody like max specs performs at 95% efficiency all of the time, whereas somebody like hero performs at maybe 80%. But then as far as peak performance goes, sometimes hero's control just it just looks inhuman. Like, the way he micros all of his stuff is just ridiculous. Anyways. I mean, MaxSpecs has been showing us some freaky micro as well, though. Some of those 4-gate Blink War Prism openers where he literally doesn't lose anything. There have been a couple of perfect Protoss games as of late where he literally micros so well that he wins the game without losing a single unit. Those are far and few between, but they are... Yeah, they do appear from time to time. Anyways, MaxSpec certainly has very high highs these times as well, but sometimes, man, some of those hero games that we're looking at, it's just a bit of a head-scratcher. Like, what in the world what did we just watch? Anyways, additional Reapers coming up. We're gonna once again go for 3 of those bad boys. And there's the Hellion. Stargate once again on the other side of the map here for hero. There's no way hero was happy with how that early game went in the previous game. So let's see. Shutting down these Reapers early might not be a terrible choice. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna need to pull the Reapers here in order to shut this down. Still though, this looks like it's gonna be 3 Reapers for 2 Adepts. Which, at the very least, resource-wise, yeah, I guess with the probe going down, it might not be terrible, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It is a bit of a wash, and I guess that ultimately makes it okay-ish for the Protoss player. I'm not in love with it, but it does make the base defense quite a bit easier. Hellions, hello? So the idea was that you finish up the wall and prevent these units from coming in. It shouldn't really make a huge difference right now, but the problem here is that now the Oracle had to activate its pulsar beam on, well, the friendly side of the map, and I think ultimately this Oracle was meant to be used aggressively. Third Nexus going down. Still a little shaky right there, though, for hero. Nicely done, of course, by Gumi, trading out whatever he can. Not gonna go for a medevac drop once, well, not a Widowmine drop at the very least. We are gonna go for a medevac drop, but this time it's gonna be Jimmy and his crew. 6 of them. Okay. There can be quite a bit of damage done over here. There is a Widow Mine. Widow Mine is going to be able to snipe one of those adepts. Cyclone comes out as well. 2 SCVs for now. Nothing really all too crazy. Okay, we're going to repair, but sadly the adept decides to join in as well. Sadly right there, at least for the Terran. In the meantime, Jimmy has arrived. How much damage can he do? I think that was only a single probe. All things considered though, all things considered though, the crisis management right there from Gumi was very solid. He didn't really know exactly what he was playing against, and he was caught with his pants down, and to only lose 4 SCVs, I mean, he did lose basically all of his units too, but to lose only 4 SCVs is really quite remarkable. So it does put him right now on the back foot. And this start right now is definitely something that hero is going to be at least somewhat happy with. I think that hero is still going to be a little frustrated with the way that he butchered some of that control, but certainly not as bad as that second game we just had a look at. So, Twilight Council coming up on the back of it. Once again, a cloaking upgrade for a Banshee. How much damage can these adepts deal? Well, that is not enough Marines. No. There are more Marines inside of the main. One Phoenix is going to end up going down. We're going to start targeting one of the Vikings here for some reason. I'm not exactly sure about that one. In the meantime, the ground battle is, well, at the very least still going somewhat in favor here of the Protoss, although the units are starting to bleed out. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of all of this. The thing that makes it somewhat okay is the fact that there's a third Nexus here on the back of this, and it's not like GuMiho has a strong timing attack here coming up. So GuMiho is not gonna go for the Stimpack upgrade just yet, and he doesn't have the combat shields going or the +1 infantry weapons or anything like that, so he's playing a nice little macro game. Apparently we're gonna repair up whatever we can here. The Medivacs, the Banshee, as well as the Viking. So I guess all of that makes it quite okay right here for Mr. Hero. While this is all going on, he's gonna be able to build up that Protoss economy. It's gonna be charged on the back of this together with a Robo facility. We'll probably see a couple Immortals and then a Robo Bay here eventually as well. Robo Bay obviously fantastic. Although we are going to go for a bit of an attack. Despite the fact that we don't have Stimpack or combat shields or anything, we're going to go for some, okay, just whatever we had. GuMiho ready to throw the kitchen sink at his opponent if he absolutely needs to. We have a landed Viking and just the leftovers, man. This is a leftover attack. I personally quite like eating leftovers. I actually have some Buddha coal in the fridge, chat. Are you familiar? Or not chat. You guys aren't chat. This isn't the live stream. Anyways, are you guys familiar with Buddha coal? Very good Dutch dish. Highly recommend it. Anyways, I've got some leftovers in the fridge that I'm gonna eat after I complete this cast in this video. Yeah. Anyways, this particular attack is pretty wild. And now with charge finishing up, I do believe that Mr. Hero is gonna be able to secure the, stability here that he's been looking for. That looked like a scary push, but ultimately it's just going to be a bunch of SCVs going down. GuMiho has traded out a lot of his units. He did go for a third command center, so that attack... Oh, really? Okay, we're going to be going... Well, we've had a second factory here for a little bit already. I haven't really seen Gumi play a lot of mech, but he now decides to go full Terran mech here in this game. Huh. Blue Flame is coming up for Hellions. Cyclones have been coming up 2 at a time as well for a little bit. Dark Shrine in the meantime on the other side of the map. This is a strange transition right here for GuMiho. So he is just gonna go full battle mech against Protoss. Now, one of the intentions of the new multiplayer balance patch is to make Terran mech viable against Protoss, and I have yet to really see it being used effectively. There's that Widow Mine that was burrowed. Interesting. Now, I want to believe in this unit comp, but I'm not sure that I do. Dark Templar, by the way, are coming up. I'm not exactly sure where. Where are the Dark Templar? Oh, okay. Here's one of them. She's gonna start marching across the map, wearing his Zeratul cosplay. He's dressed up as Zeratul for Halloween. Fourth Nexus coming up as well, and there's the Hurricane Thrusters upgrade. So we have the Blue Flame upgrade for the Hellions, and then you have the Speed upgrade as well here for the Cyclones. No armories or anything like that yet, or at the very least no upgrades yet for any armories. There's wannabe Zeratul going to town. Cloak Banshee here, trying to get some work done. Banshee in the main base also creating chaos. I think the strategy right now for GuMiho is to basically just hit his opponent at as many different angles as possible. Yep. Still a lot of probes going down, though. What an interesting game. What an interesting series. Game number 2 was a disaster. Game number 1 was a very aggressive Tempest Void Ray cheese there from Protoss. And now in game 3, we're gonna go Terran mech against Protoss? Well, at least you can tell why these guys are channel favorites. Game number 2 was a very normal game, at least from Terran, other than, I guess, the additional Reapers. That was a little bit funky. Colossus coming up. Yeah, so there's a couple problems with playing mech against Protoss. First and foremost, say Terran decides to go, or sorry, say Protoss decides to go for like a 4-gateway blink opener, just the good old Stalkers seem to shut down straight Terran mech. Now obviously this is not straight Terran mech in this particular game, but there are still a lot of good tools that Protoss has that deals well with mech. Like for example, just good old Zealots are not bad, Immortals are not bad, you can go for Tempest, you can go for even Void Rays. I'm not sure about a Colossus, that one's a bit interesting to me. Archons are good. Like, just good old Archon Immortal is very powerful. Anyways, I think that hero wants to go for a big attack right now, and he may very well catch all of those siege tanks off guard here as they are unsieged. Still, though, this is Blue Flame Hellions. We do not have Hellbats here. Those Phoenixes from earlier do now lift up the tanks to take them out of the equation. And, well, that's it. I like that GuMiho decided to test out how viable Terran mech is, and maybe it is viable if the siege tanks there are sieged. And even though I don't think hero is going to be too happy with how these games went, it was very entertaining. I don't think he's going to be too happy with how he performed. He is the winner over GuMiho 2-1.